So this is a question which comes majorly on the type of loading. That what is the type of loading in QlikView? So the question might come will majorly come on that what is a binary load. So loading one QVW file from one source to another source. That means loading the data from data model to the front end layer is used by the process of binary load. Like here we have used binary load to get the data from the data model layer. You can see binary load is the load which has been used here. Without the binary load, you cannot fetch the data from one layer to another layer. This is what the binary load is. Second question, can we prohibit binary load? Yes, we can prohibit binary load. In this document, if you want to prohibit binary load, then go to settings, document property, opening. Here there is a checkbox. If you just check this, then a binary load will not work. So it can be prohibited. So if you just applied the section access and you don't want that any external file should be called to this QVW file, so you can check this. Now when I've used this binary load now, you see none of the data has been fetched. No data has been fetched over here. The binary load has been prohibited. How do you do optimize QlikView application? So the answer is merge tables to reduce joins at runtime and create flatter structure at the load time. So suppose we have a multiple files. Let me just show the data model. Here we have many tables. So it is suggested that if you have multiple tables, instead of joining the tables right here in the data model, you can join the table at the time of loading the QVD and create a composite or joint QVD and load the data from that table. Suppose I have to load the data from 5 tables or from 5 QVDs here in the front end for making relationship. But at the time of creating the QVD, if you select the data from multiple tables and use the join script to join them and store that data into one single QVD, then also that is also possible. So in that case, the number of tables in your data model will be reduced. In this way, you can optimize the data loading process. Okay, the more number of tables you will have, the more number of joins you will have, that will reduce the performance, or that will skip the data optimization mechanism. What is mapping load and apply map? I just shown you in the last session that the mapping load is something that without joining the table, you can refer the column of one table to another table. Here, like we have created one table, so master table, and then we try to consume the data of this master table into the transaction table, and in the transaction table we have only one column, this country code. So against this country code, I just could correlate the data of master table and get the data into the transaction table. So without the joining, the mapping table will act as a master table. Mapping table will not be visible. Mapping table is the table which will provide the data with reference to any key field. An apply map is a method through which you will map one field of original table with the mapping table. So it is just for the mapping X table to Y table. You can use apply map. Here in the apply map function, you have to pass the table name from which the data need to be connected or mapped, and the field name on which of the field will be used for connection, and if there would not be any matches, and if there is some connection fails, I mean a reference fails, in that case it is also not available. This is what the mapping group and apply map. What is synthetic key? Synthetic key is a key or a kind of a link table which forms where there are more than one common column found. So that will be called as a synthetic key. If there is more than one common column found, or relationship in two tables, then it will create another link table called map synthetic key. Now, what is circular reference? So, synthetic key and circular reference, these are two different loopholes, or technical errands which is observed at the time of development, where synthetic key is a kind of a link table which forms that you know if there is more than one common column found to join. But circular reference is something different. Circular reference is a kind of a loop. If it forms between three tables, suppose table A has a key which joins table B, table B has a key which joins table C, then ultimately we can also refer the data of table A to table C through table B. But if table C is again connected with table A, in that case there would be a circular reference, or loop, infinite loop will be created. I repeat, if there is a relations of table A to table B and table B to table C, then in that case A can also directly refer to table C, or C can also refer to A. But if again from C to A or A to C directly a connection is found, then in that case we will call as a circular reference. Now, what is a join and keep? What is a join versus keep? Join is a process of associating or connecting two tables by means of a common key field. So when you join the two tables will be merged to form a single table. But in keep will also act most similar like join, but only case is the keep will not merge two different tables. The cardinality will follow like one to one to many, many to many, like that. But in keep the tables will be remain separated. In join the tables will be merged to form a single table. What is concatenation? Concatenation means just like we have union concept in SQL. Two tables with equal attribute name can be merged by use of the union. The same way here in QlikView, if you have two tables with the same attributes, they are loaded into in memory, they will be concatenated to form a single table. Okay, by default they will be concatenated. So if table A has field 1, 2, 3, table B has the same field 1, 2, 3, then in that case, if the tables are loaded to in memory, then they need not to join. They will be automatically concatenated. You can also explicitly write the syntax as concatenate. But if you don't want to concatenate these two tables and you want to make them loaded separately, in that case, between them you have to use no concatenation. No concatenation will enforce the reverse feature of concatenation. These tables will be two tables will be merged, but in no concatenation the tables will not be merged. Now, what is connect? Connect is a process of connecting to database, that means through ODBC or OLEDB. At the time of creating connection to database in the extract layer, you can use connect. Select statement. Select statement is used to identify fields and tables to load from the current database. So whenever you select, you can select the tables to the QlikView. Load statement. Load statement is a process of loading the data from the table to QlikView. Explain aggregation function. Aggregation function returns a value for expression calculated over dimensions. I would like to show this with example. Aggregate sum by country. Suppose I will have data of many countries. I have the sum of sales. I have sum of sales. I can show it in a single table. But if you want to show aggregation, then in that case it will be something like this. So let's see how the aggregation works. Suppose I'll just create a chart, straight table, create. I'll just give the example and show you. Suppose here in our data, in our table, we will have like month sales. Jan sales is 20. Jan again, I have one more record, sales is 30. Jan, one more record, sales is 25. Like Feb, 10, Feb, 30, March, 40, 20. Now, if you will try to show this data by aggregation, you have to show like this. It should show Jan 75, Feb 40, 60. So sum of sales of Jan will be showing as 75. Sum of sales of Feb will show as 40. Sum of sales of March will show as 60. This is how the aggregation will work. But if you show only sum of sales, in that case it will sum the entire value and show single value. But if you use aggregation, then it will show the values, multiple values, the repetitive values, and the individual values will be merged to will be sum up to show a single value. So this is how the aggregation works. So if you try to represent this the aggregation, then you have to use Aggr, sum of sales by month. So we like okay. Difference between star schema and snowflake schema. Okay, so this is, guys, this is more into the data warehouse. I will show you paint box. I have one fact table here. Now, what is fact? Yeah, fact is basically it will contain the numeric values of the foreign keys of or the dimension table and the measures. Say key 1, key 2, key 3, fact. Say cost, and say sales. So these are the facts. Now these facts will be connected with multiple dimension table, okay, with their keys. So here the dimension table is product. Key 1 is the primary key of the product table, and here this key 1 is a foreign key which represents the product over here. Then other attributes will be there. Other attributes like product name, product category, product unit. So those are the dimensions here in this table. Same way, key 2, say it is customer. Customer name, customer branch, customer address. Okay, these are the dimensions. Here I would have like salesperson. Here key 3 salesperson name, SP name, SP designation, etc. And this would be something like this, like branch. Okay, say key 4 we have branch name, branch address, branch division. So this schema in the data warehouse will be called as a star schema because they are only dimensions which connects with the fact. This is fact and this is dimension. Now, what is snowflake schema? So in the star schema, any dimension should not have any further connection to any other lookup table or any master tables. It should not like that. But if in this scenario, if I will have say dimension, it is a product table. So if product table has one more relationship with another table called category. If customer table has another relationship with say geography. Okay. If salesperson table has a relationship with employee. If this is table which would have another master table or relationship with any other master table, in that case, this will be called as snowflake schema. Snowflake schema. But if we will have only fact dimension table that will be one-to-one connected with the fact table, then it will call as a star schema. Suppose this, 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 this. These four tables are connected to this fact table. In this case, it will be called as a star schema. And if we will add this further dimension table to the dimension tables, then it will be called as a snowflake schema. This is how it called as a dimension, dimensional modeling, and the dimensional modeling, star schema and snowflake schema are two major concepts. Don't go by the definitions of the questions. Just try to understand the features in the practical example, so then you can make your own definition. I'll show some major questions due to the time constraints. Okay, difference between RDBMS and associative data model. RDBMS means relational database management system or relational data model. Associative data model means dimensional data model. We also call as a dimensional data model. So RDBMS is contain master and transaction tables. They are join with each other, and they are normally used as a backend of any transaction database or any transaction system. Whereas associative data model is mostly used for the analytics. Here, suppose in transaction data model, you would have 10 tables are individually connected with each other. Dimensional data model, those 10 tables would have been joined with each other, and maybe you would have 2, 3, or 4 tables in the dimensional data model or associative data model. In that case, most of the tables are associated to each other, or we can also say they are represented in form of a denormalized schema. Okay. Now I'll tell you what is normalized and denormalized schema. So we can say like any transaction data model or RDBMS refers to normalized schema, whereas a data warehouse refers to denormalized schema. Data of a single entity has been broken into small entities for the better performance of data insertion, updation, deletion is called as a normalization. I repeat, one entity, suppose employee information, is broken into multiple entities or tables. Like employee name and basic details will be there in one table, employee address would be in one table, employee designation will be in one table, okay. Employee academic details will be in one table. And finally, when you join all these tables together, it will also composed of an employee data. So that is the normalized database schema. And denormalized schema is schema or data model is mostly focused into the analytics. So in analytics, when you try to join hundreds of small tables, it will be difficult for you. So joining the tables, small tables to form a single entity or less number of entity is called as denormalized schema. That means the tables are joined to form a less number of tables. What is the difference between QlikView server and publisher? Let me tell you guys, QlikView server is an engine which is used to host your QlikView application. When you develop your QlikView dashboard, it will not be available, it will be available to the one who created it. But if you want to share your dashboard with end users, how will you share it? Do you want them to install QlikView to open your QlikView file? No. Do you share the QlikView file with them and assume that the QlikView file will default to open with them? No. You have to host the QlikView file in a central repository called as a QlikView server. So QlikView server, the end users can access your dashboard through a web browser. Through a web browser like Mozilla, Chrome, they have to access to an online portal called Access Point. And Access Point is basically a gateway or interface through which the dashboard can be viewed online. If it is online, then n number of users can be seen to a dashboard. And alternatively, publisher. Publisher is unlike QlikView server, it does not do the deployment or hosting of the QlikView application. It is basically used to refresh your dashboard on your defined time frame. Your dashboard fetch the data from the database and store in QVD. And for that particular time, it is like latest data, but in a due course of time, the data would be old unless until you do not refresh the data or reload the latest data. So that reloading process is automated through this publisher. Okay, publisher is an engine which is used to automatically reloads your QlikView dashboard on a specific time frame which you would define. So it's an interesting question. If server crashes, then how do you check behind it, or error log where you find that log? Where do you find that log? Okay. So in the program data, in QlikTech folder, in the web server folder, you would get the log. So you would get the log that what was really happened to the server and how it got crashes. What is a cross table? Cross table is common type of a table featuring a matrix of values between two list of header data. Okay. To turn cross table into the straight table using the cross table prefix. So this is basically called the cross table. Alright, now what is set and late? I also shown in the real-time example. Both of these syntaxes or methods are used to declare a variable in QlikView. Set is normally declared for character type of data, whereas late is used to declare a numeric variable or the variable which can be evaluated. Okay, variable which can be evaluated. When you reload the QlikView file, if the error got, if you get the error, how do you resolve it? So yes, by using debugger, you can resolve it. What type of data connection you use? We do have ODBC, object database connection, ODB, object linking database, object linking and embedding database, and SAP connector. So these are the type of the questions. So it is self-explanatory, and some of the scenarios you can follow, and most of the topics has been covered in the session also in the real time. So you can refer these questionnaires, and answer is also there with the questionnaires. That will be self-understood. So that is all about the discussion of the questions and answers in the QlikView training part. Thanks for following us. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.